Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody?
Wonderful. How are you?
Very good. Thanks. Better for you asking.
Have you ever been a wonderful day in your life?
Yeah.
Okay, just biggest takeaways from the game film, Coach?
I thought we showed improvement in the areas that we talked about with our team going in terms of really trying to do a better job guarding the basketball. Blocking out was a big thing. Transition defense, and again, saying that we still got to get better. There's no question about that. Still have to improve our ball screen defense, but overall the effort in terms of some really good efforts by Santi and VJ were really, in terms of what we asked him to do defensively with individual matchups, did a really nice job. But overall, just what we had stressed going into it, we wanted to see improvement. We saw it pretty much. But again, with that said, we've got a long way to go.
You think you can see this kind of Olivier consistently throughout the year?
You know what? I'd like to think so. He certainly has put his work in, and he continues to do that. But I've said it before. As the season goes on, people start game planning, doing different things, and he'll see some different defenses come at him. He'll have to adjust to that as it goes on. But I would tell you the same thing I told him after the game. I don't want him to get complacent. I want to see him continue to do what he's done up to this point to get better and realize that, it's not going to be the same game every night he goes out.
You all have 26 steals through 2 games. Do you see that being a strength of you all on defense?
Yeah, I'm sorry?
26 steals through 2 games.
Well, we talk a lot about deflections. We talk a lot about trying to get out in the open court. We want to do that. We want to be active, whatever defense we might be in. If we're in a gap, we want to be active in those gaps. We always work hard if we can at trying to deny the first pass and come up with some deflection steals that way. But we'll see. Again, prior to the game to Sunday, we were over anxious, giving up our position and really setting ourselves up not where we really couldn't defend the court. And the most important thing is we'll just get in the right position and get the kind of ball pressure that we want. We think that we can come up with some of those steals.
How much have you seen of Villanova so far? I know they played a great game the other night. Have you seen them yet this year?
I have, started watching tape on them, and certainly have just the utmost respect for Jay Wright. I think he's a terrific basketball person and has been for a long time, and certainly just a wonderful person. And when I look at his teams, I always appreciate watching guys grow within a program. And I go back to where we played them a couple years ago down in the Bahamas, and still there's some guys on that team that were role players then, but to see what they've developed into, I think is just the ultimate compliment for Jay and his staff in terms of their player development. And his guys are going to be competitive. They're going to play hard, and that's a chip off of the block because Jay's a very competitive person and has done a great job building a great program.
Is it unique for a program that wins the way they win usually and builds the way they build? You don't see a lot of one and dones go through there. You seem like there's just a lot of player development in that program.
Well, I think it shows his confidence in his beliefs in terms of what he does and what he's looking for. I don't think Jay is. I know he's not going to sacrifice his beliefs and thoughts for recruiting someone he doesn't think is going to fit into his program. And again, they work hard. There's no doubt, because you can't play hard as they do if you don't work hard. And I know enough about how they go about things that they're big believers in player development. And so I'm not surprised that he's real picky in how he recruits.
That battle for Atlantis 4 years ago was kind of that point where it seemed like things started to build. How different do you feel like this program is at this point than it was then?
Well, in some ways, it's a different team, different time, but same kind of tournament. That was a great tournament. This is a great field we've got going, up at the Mohegan Sun, and for some guys, they were young. You go back, I think that group of guys were sophomores and had a very emotional win the day before against Purdue, and had a big lead against Villanova, and they came out and just steamrolled us in the second half. But our guys did fight back, and what that tournament did for that group of guys, it taught them what it takes to really truly play at the highest level in terms of the kind of effort that goes into it on every possession. And It's not going to be perfect, but you've got to compete. And but maybe again, we've got some guys here that have been in some games like that, but the majority of this team hasn't. So we're going to find out a lot about ourselves this weekend.
Coach, you played 10 guys in the first half on Sunday. Is that your rotation, or is it still work in progress, figuring out?
I still think it's a work in progress how we do it, and you know, we talk about it. It's going to get down to our rotation will be based on reliability. You know, what we can expect every time we put someone in, and can they be consistent with it. But also, I'd like to think that we're going to continue with our player development, and we've got guys that we know that we've got to continue to develop over the course of the year that can help us get where we really want to go. But it'll be, again, there's not one guy in our program that can't look at, after watching the tape, that can't say I've got to get better in this area, that area, whatever it may be. And but right now it'll really be game by game and how that game's playing in terms of the way minutes end up shaping out. And again, I can see it changing really from game to game.
What do you need to see from Jemai to be one of those guys that you can count on as reliable?
Well, again, defensively, you know, he's a guy that we know. I mean, he's going to be relentless in terms of his effort. You know, he's offensively does a terrific job of getting to the glass almost every time. But defensively, he's a guy that we think can lock in and be that kind of player. But he's like most freshmen, you come in, you think it's going to kind of sort of be the same, and then you realize this is a little bit more difficult than I thought going in. But he's got such a wonderful attitude, and he's going to continue to work and really try to get better with what he does. And if he'll do that, again, he's a guy that we think can become a reliable player for us off the bench this year.
Weeks like this, do you get excited in the build-up to the step-up in competition to see how Olivier and guys like that who have taken a step forward, to just see how big of a step forward they've taken over the offseason?
Well, I think players, coaches, we all like big games, and I've always said in non-league, the only way you can win big games, you got to play them. And yeah, I think I still get excited about games. I'm excited about practice today because we want to put our guys in some situations, different situations of where they're going to be in this weekend. But yeah, I think we all are looking forward to it. I know Villanova plays tonight. I don't know if Purdue and Carolina, I'm sure they probably play once this week. So this is a big day for us in terms of we need to be a lot like a game situation in terms of our practice intensity and effort. But I don't think there's any question our guys will look forward to the weekend.
Rick, what did you need to see out of Zakai when you were recruiting him, despite that? Because a lot of people, because the size would have been an issue there. What did you see in him that made that not an issue?
I think a lot has to do with the fact that we've had success with guys his size through the years. I mean, we've had some small guards that are really competitive, and I think when you saw him, what stood out about him was that, yeah, he shoots the ball. He's fearless, not afraid. He's going to compete. I don't think there's, I kid him about teams going to do this, do that, but it doesn't faze him. And he's learning the difference in being a guy where he's probably has always been asked to score a lot, to become more of a point guard mentality first, score. He can really shoot the ball, but his biggest strength is really and truly he's one of the most competitive guys we've had. I mean, he is going to fight you. He's going to go at it, and I think he realizes at where he is with his size that he's got to be like that, and he embraces it. He's in tremendous shape, condition-wise, both mentally and physically, and bounces back quick when things. I think he's a player that really stays in the moment. You know, he certainly wants to play where he doesn't make mistakes, but he's a player that he can let it go real quick and move on to the next play.
How much of the opportunities to kind of play in these neutral site showcase games increased as you've built your program?
Well, there's no question you want to be in this type of field with teams that have had great success over the years for many, many years. And, every time I think about us playing Purdue, I mean, we've had some epic games. I mean, certainly North Carolina, through the years. And I go back to the game with Villanova in the Bahamas. That was as an intense game. And you think about it, that year we were picked 13th and win the league. They go on to win the national championship. but that time of year, that was a high level, high fought game. We showed a frame to the guys the other day about the rebounding, and I promise you there were 8 people in there. Grant Williams was in the middle of it, and you couldn't even see him. And it was that kind of intensity and effort. But that was a great thing for our team at that time because they did realize what it takes and how every possession matters. And we've got, again, I hope that, again, we've tried to schedule because we believe we should be one of those schools that when people think of high-level basketball programs that Tennessee's always in that mix.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.